Oh, yeah.
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I am your host, the People's Sham Cal, and alongside me as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glams and Delicia, joined or flanked by our lovely valet, sweet baby Rose down there. That's you, girl. Looking at mama. How you doing? Are you on mute? I think you're on mute now.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Stuff
go.
off me. Hey. So, as always, another Monday, another recap going on.
And sorry for the slight delay because apparently OBS just had a bunch of updates. I did update it like last week to make sure, but I guess there's some. I can restart it again right before we started. But welcome to Sidewalk. Welcome to Skye. Thank you guys for joining us here on Monday. As we're gonna go over Extreme Rules 2022, and it was a quite the pay per view because it was the first one in a while that actually had because I've always been saying like why do they call these pay per views like the certain names, but they don't. Maybe they'll only have like one Extreme Rules match or something like that. But this one, every match had a gimmick, which is what I like to see because like that's the point of the pay per view. Because like why? Because you could have an Extreme Rules match at any pay per view if you think about it. It's just a no DQ match, pretty much, right? So if you had that at any pay per view, but I like seeing it that like every match is utilized in some type of Extreme Rules way. So that's what was pretty cool to see about it. What are your thoughts about like just the gimmick of the pay per view itself? Because I know we always, I'm like I said, I'm the first one to say that. Like, why do they even call it Extreme Rules if only one match is extreme? You know?
Yeah, well, apparently Triple H feels the same way and decided to make this all about going extreme in different ways or different types of matches, whether it be the fight pit or a Donnie Brookside, whatever
Mm.
match that was with Imperium. So, and We did it. We got one Extreme Rules match in its proper name, and then we got a ladder match, and so it's like really different ways to incorporate weapons basically into every match. That I think made it a little big different, and it's apropos that it was in Philly, the city of extreme, of course. For those ECW fans, they were well, with the exception of some matches, they were on fire last
Yeah,
night or Saturday night. So it was really cool to like see. Well, I mean, Philly's one of those wrestling cities that are like they're a smart crowd, so you're always gonna get some sort of reaction out of them, whether it be negative or positive. You're gonna get a reaction. So it was really good. I bet it felt great for a lot of performers to be in such a like high energy environment.
yeah. I think, like you said, it was apropos because it wasn't the home of ECW. But yeah, I did like the fact that I mean, you're right. Only one match was uh, Extreme Rules match, but other than that, like it was pretty cool that they had a variety of different matches. I'm glad they didn't dip into the well of using a Hell in the Cell or using TLC match because that's kind of more reserved for those pay per views itself. So I did like seeing the variety, and I'm glad Triple H actually watches this show and listens to what I have to say because I put in some great ideas here and there. Welcome, Big Time. How are you doing? Uh, Before we all elaborate, he says he sees a character reset for Liv Morgan. Also sees Baylor round a feud happening. Yeah, I do think that was what her next feud is going to be. So that's going to be interesting to see if she won. We don't know if she won yet. We'll get to that in the second match of the night. But there was no pre-show from what I heard. Because I was away at New York Comic Con, so I kind of missed the actual live pay per view. So I did catch a recap, and they don't ever show the pre-show, the recap. So I'm assuming there's no pre-show match. I did look it up on Wikipedia to see if there was. Um, the first match of the evening happened to be a Donnybrook match that Felicia was mentioning, featuring, oh my god, I don't even know these people's names. The Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, wait, I'm gonna get this, Ridge Holland, and Pete Dunne, aka Butch, which we don't like to call them by their real new names, but Pete Dunne, against the against Imperium, featuring your Intercontinental. I think he's Intercontinental Champion. I never know who's what champion anymore. Intercontinental Champion Walter. Oh god, Giovanni Vinci and Alexander. No, Ludwig Kaiser. Right, that's it.
Yeah.
Aha! I barely did, and I think this is Delicia's match. So go ahead, Delicia.
Yeah, because a lot of these matches are pretty much like highlight reels. That's what we're gonna talk about here. And these matches is not really a full on beat by beat. But we get starting off with I guess this is one of the long standing feud matches of from Extreme Rules. I mean, as in like they've had like a couple different like storylines leading up to this match. We had Rich Holland. He's kind of gonna be he's the strong, well, I guess strong man and sort of physicality looking for the Brawling Brutes. He would actually see him using extra a lot by carrying Kaiser, and which is gonna be hard to not call him Marcel in a fight Fabian Eichner because I've been so used to saying it for years. Um, but after that, of course, it would be Imperial's turn to get the heads up on Ridge as he took a big boot, I believe, from Gunter. And I have succeeded in calling him Gunter now because he has said that that's what he wants to be. Like Walter is a different character for him, so this is like his next evolution. So I was like, okay, I will succeed, but I'm still not calling Pete Dunne Butch. Sorry, unless he decides that that's where he wants to be. I don't know. Respecting to the performers. But of course, it will be short lived as they Imperium will gang up on Sheamus, and I think they power bomb him onto the bar desk, so to speak. I think you still call that a bar, right? Even though there were no drinks on it. But um, but anyway, sorry. But we he will be laid out onto the sidelines while it'll be kind of be 3-on-2 from Imperium to the Brutes for a little bit, and then until Sheamus was able to like I guess he drank some Red Bull behind that bar and popped up when Pete Dunne was being attacked by Gunter Kaiser and Vinci. So Sheamus comes up like I said, like hype up on Red Bull and was able to quickly dispose of Kaiser and Vinci. So we get that one on one of him and Gunther going toe to toe, which they had done the night before in an IC title match, which Sheamus was not successful in. Once again, putting in that story beat that he cannot beat Gunther for now. That still seems to be determined. But now it was time for Gunther to be ganged upon by Kaiser and I mean by Pete and Rich as they all gave him the why can I never get this thing? Is it beast beast of the whenever Sheamus is beat you on the chest on the ropes? I don't know. I can never get the name.
I always called it the Irish hand grenades, but I guess it's got a new name now because I did hear them say it.
Yeah, I don't know, but they all got in on it, and I believe Sheamus put I think it's called the Cloverleaf submission.
Mm-hmm.
Put Gunther in that, and almost got another. Seemed to might succeed until I think it was Kaiser what who came in with the shillelagh to break that up. Um, until Butch and Rich came back with their own shillelaghs to again get rid of the other two. So they actually then would turn those shillelaghs onto Gunther to kick him out of the ring. And then for I believe it was Vinci who got a swift boot to the face with the bro kick. I think I named that one right. And for them to get the win. I know my recap doesn't really does it justice, but this really was like a hard hitting match, guys. They're not afraid to go at it, whether it be in singles matches or team matches, and they you can tell these guys have been facing each other for like a long time. But I think maybe with the exception of Shane because he's been in WWE for a while. They all have really great chemistry, and you can tell that they really like being in the ring with each other. Like you can just tell when like wrestlers are excited to be with their quote unquote dance partner, so to speak. And I really did enjoy this match. It was really fun and a nice little story beat for the Braun and Bruce to get a win over Imperium because they've been beaten down by them for the last couple of weeks, probably like the last month it feels like. But it was a really good match. What did you think?
Yeah, before I get into what I thought, thanks to Big Time, says there's no pre-show matches. The move is called the Beats of Bowery, and he thought Sheamus was robbed the night before on SmackDown
I'm
a
probably
single
still
match.
gonna forget it by the next pay per view,
Uh,
but so feel free to keep telling me that in the
he,
chat,
he,
guys.
he also added that it was the match of the night. Yeah, I do agree. Like we've been to a Philly event, right, for WWE. And the Philly crowd is brutal. They'll let you know if they like it, and they'll let you know if they don't like it. More so than any other arena. Maybe other than New York. Maybe New York is pretty bad as well too. They're very vocal. So of the ones I've went to, New York and Philly have been the most vocal about how they feel about a match, and it was very evident to this night of the pay per view because they were dead for some matches completely where they didn't give a damn, and then they were like on fire. And a rule of nose is they always start out with a pretty hot match, a match that's gonna get a lot of like attention and a lot of like, and plus the fans are always hyped at the first match of the night. So, but this match did not disappoint. It was a great match, very hard hitting. Like Big Time said, it wasn't that extreme as you would expect it to be. Like no glasses were broken or anything like that. But it was just a lot of solid fighting, and it was a brawl, basically a brawl, and it was well done brawl. It wasn't too much chaos. There was chaos, but it wasn't like sloppy chaos. It was very controlled chaos, and I really enjoyed it. And I'd like to see that. I like seeing Sheamus finally come out on top because he's been jobbing, not jobbing. I don't want to say jobbing, but he's been doing the right thing as a veteran player. Like kind of not really in the picture anymore. So he's putting people over as he should be. But I think he's put a lot of work in, and he should get that one more big title run. I've been saying that for Mark Henry and Kane for the longest time. They've never gotten it, and they're long gone now. So will Sheamus get it? We'll see. I hope so. But it was a very fun match. Imperium is starting to grow on me. Like I said, I didn't really watch NXT or NXT UK back in the day, so when they were in their prime, I guess. But seeing them now is pretty cool. And I like all their characters, so I'm enjoying seeing all this stuff. Um, yeah, the weird reason because he liked how Walter ordered the team around and played, but I guess we're gonna call him Gunther after what Delisha said about how he feels about the character, so it makes sense. So yeah, that it might be the match tonight for us. We'll see when we get later on in the evening. But is something to say, Delisha, before I move on? No.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, that's kind of always been his shtick with the Imperium, um, or if you want to make it a real throwback, if you ever watch Progress Wrestling for the British promotion Ring Camp, he's always kind of been that way. That's why one of the reasons why he is called the Ring General, is because he is gonna like tell you what to do. in the ring. Yeah, those are his henchmen, or they no, they'll be henchmen, not goons, right? Henchmen.
Stable mates. They're stable mates.
Yeah,
I love a good stable. Delish likes a good story. I like a good stable. Still waiting for my Indian stable that I lead, but
we're getting a lot of those though.
yep. But we still need our Indian stable. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Welcome, Randall. How are you? The second of the match of the evening was for the SmackDown Women's Championship, featuring the SmackDown's Women's Champion, New Jersey's own Liv Morgan in her backyard against the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. And this can be seen as the baddest match of all of them, of the three that they've had, because the crowd was completely dead. It was extremely sloppy. It wasn't an Extreme Rules match. Oh, this was an Extreme Rules match, by the way. But it wasn't really an Extreme Rules match. It was an Extreme Slop match because it was complete. Like, oh man, there's so many blown spots, and like you could see where they stopped to talk to each other. Like it's supposed to be like if they're newer wrestlers, I'd forgive them, but like you could see them stop and be like, oh wait, we messed up. Like let's discuss this like in front of everybody instead of like putting him into a headlock or something like that. It was pretty blatant. Like it wasn't that done well. But the match started out with, and I love Liv Morgan, and I used to like Ronda Rousey, but now she's starting to like, you know, and like we have this like rule where like neither of us should have to ever cover multiple Ronda Rousey matches in a row over the course of pay-per-views. But for some reason, she's facing like my girl Liv Morgan, so I will take the match because it's Liv Morgan, that's my girl. But like I gotta support my Jersey people. But yeah, so somehow I got stuck with Ronda Rousey matches 3 times in a row, and I was hoping for a clean sweep with Ronda Rousey. Against Ronda Rousey. And already Liv Morgan's the first woman to beat her cleanly twice, I believe. So she's going for something incredible feat of beating her 3 times, coming 3-0 against Liv Morgan. Did it happen? Well, it started out with a Liv Morgan bringing in a bat, which seemed to do absolutely nothing against Ronda Rousey because Ronda Rousey was able to counter it multiple times. And then Ronda Rousey turned it on Liv Morgan and started it like beating the crap out of her. Then went to grab the bat, and as she grabbed the bat to hit Liv Morgan turned the fire extinguisher onto Ronda Rousey, but it did not help at all because Ronda Rousey turned around and hit Liv Morgan with the bat, causing a welt on her ab or stomach, however you want to say it. Nothing really happened. It was just like Liv Morgan getting a beating most of the match. At one point, Liv Morgan was able to muster up enough to hit the code red with a steel chair, but Rousey counted out. I think Liv also hit a senton onto Rousey through a table. Rousey kicked out of that. After that, I think Rousey went for a bicep crusher. That's what they called it. It was kind of like a Hell's Gate triangle choke, but like an inverted one, which was like there's a name for that, but I can't think of it. But it was like an inverted figure four. Like they shit her leg in a figure four in a triangle choke, kind of, but it was more like a different type of choke, like a Hell's Gate or whatever. But they called it a bicep crusher for some reason. And then at Ronda Rousey turned Liv's face into like onto the table of the thing, putting more pressure on her neck and back, I guess. And Liv Morgan didn't tap, but she just like was smiling. So apparently she was out, but she smiled her way out. I don't know, like she was like smiling as she like lost consciousness and left with a smile on her face. And your new champion is now Ronda Rousey. Quite the unfortunate turn of events, and much to the chagrin of the crowd. And I think Rousey's supposed to like be that heel figure now, right? So I don't know. Delisha, what do you think of the match?
This was a really tough match to watch, and not in the good way. Like not in like, oh my gosh, this was so brutal, I couldn't watch. No, I was bored. Yeah, you too. I was bored to tears. I don't, I, I can't quite get it, but Ronda doesn't seem to have chemistry with anyone. Maybe Charlotte, maybe I don't know, but she doesn't seem to have like in-ring chemistry with her opponents, and I think I feel like that's part of what's missing, and her no selling kind of turned you out for it as well. Um, the one saving grace is that maybe for the time being we can get Liv away out of this long situation because these two do not work. So maybe she could like move on with something else. Yeah, I do agree that the smiling was kind of weird unless it pays off somewhere down the line with that of why that was the case. Because if you're passed out, you're not smiling. Your muscles are relaxed, and it just I don't know if that would be like I don't think that's neurologically possible. Anyway, then again, the body's weird. Who knows? Um, yeah, and then it's like you're hitting each other with chairs and bats, and for some reason I don't buy it. Again, because it's I don't know. It's you would think they were just hitting themselves with the pool noodles or something. It's the way that they were kind of like reacting. The bruises on them were
Yeah.
real. Like I saw that. Like no, like I'm not saying like they weren't getting hit. It's just like the way again they were selling it is I don't know. And I don't as of like if you ask me today, I don't think Ronda's really I think Ronda is just being Ronda. Like is she that's her character. She's Ronda Rousey. So it's not like she not in a Kevin Owens way where he can be face heel tweener depending on who he's talking to. I just think it's like that's just they realize that she's just so stoic that she just like you're just Ronda. You don't really have a heel or a face. They'll chill your booty, whatever. Just do whatever you just do whatever it is you do. Um, I don't know. I'm not excited for her as being a champion just because that just means I'm gonna have to see her more on my screen. But the fact that maybe we can like separate these two for a little bit and insert like a new feud or something like that. Hopefully, who knows? I mean, we won't know until Friday what they'll actually do. But what?
Yeah, so I think like what Big Time was saying, we might see a feud between Shayna and Rousey, which might ignite something because they have some history together. I'm sure they did some sparring in the ring together as well. So maybe they or in the octagon, I should say. So maybe they should have some good chemistry. That's the one thing you said they were her opponents her were lacking. So that could be good. And maybe with War Games coming up, maybe you could have Team Rousey against Team Shayna where normally what in the past we've always been saying the four horsewomen against the four horsewomen, we're not going to see that anymore. So maybe, or maybe we will. Maybe there'll be who knows. We'll come back and who knows what. So maybe
Not this year.
yeah, not this year, but I'm just saying eventually maybe we'll see that down in the future.
Oh
But
yeah, no, because I'm saying because of Marina Shafir and AEW, so that's not
yeah, I
happening.
know, but you never know. Who knows? But
Yeah.
we saw Mickey.
Also,
We saw Mickey James in the Rumble. So
I was like, also still not that great of a wrestler, unfortunately.
yeah, but anyway, like so, yeah, maybe we'll see a Team Shayna versus a Team Rousey and see how that goes, and maybe Liv will be on Team Shayna, and I don't know, who knows, we'll see. But we talked about this enough because this was a terrible match. The next match was also a pretty bad match featuring Drew McIntyre against Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux, I think it's her name, or just Scarlett maybe, in their corner in a strap match. Now, the way a strap match usually works is that when you tie a strap to each other's wrist, either drag the person to each turnbuckle and slap each turnbuckle, and then you win the match once you hit all four corners in succession. However, this one was a regular strap match where it's just pin or submission while you're tied to a strap. So the match starts out with Drew obviously being the face, putting the strap on. However, oh wait, that's his name. Karrion, because I remember his Killer Cross as well. Just making sure I got the right one. Karrion Kross did not put the strap on. Instead, he threw it out to Scarlett, and Scarlett pulled the strap, causing Drew to run into the turnbuckle, I think it was, and injure his shoulder. They both went into the crowd then and started fighting. As that distraction happened, that's when Kross jumped Drew McIntyre. They fought into the crowd for a little bit. Then were able to get back into the ring and started beating the crap out of each other, and the match officially started. Karrion put the strap on, then the bell was able to ring. If the bell even rang, I was actually trying to listen for a bell ring, but I don't think the bell actually even rung. So the match eventually started, and Kross kept going after McIntyre's shoulder because that was the thing that he first slammed into the turnbuckle in the beginning. He kept slamming into the ring post. Started hitting Drew with the strap in the shoulder as well as in the chest and all that. But basically, the crowd was very dead, so you could hear the slaps, but it wasn't even still that like intimidating. It didn't sound as like just like how Delisha said it looked like they were hitting the women were hitting each other with pool noodles. It felt the same way. Like you could really do a lot of noise and damage to the strap. I wasn't buying it. they weren't really selling it. I mean, their faces and actions were selling it, but their facial expressions and reactions were selling it, but the actual action of it wasn't really selling it for me. The fans didn't seem to care. They were very quiet, and it wasn't really that great. Um, so eventually, they had what they called a strap off, where first like Carrie hit him, hit Drew with the strap, and then Drew hit Karen. They went back and forth, back and forth. It's kind of like with the moment when they go boo, yeah, and like when there's the punches between the heel and the face, or someone that the crowd likes and someone the crowd dislikes. Like they usually do that boo yeah part. That was probably what was supposed to happen, but since the crowd was dead, it was just them hitting each other back and forth and nothing really happening until Drew got the like he won that face off and hit the Future Shock DDT. But I think Karen kicked out. Then Karen got up. He was very dazed and stuff. So obviously Drew went to the Drew kicked. Sorry, no, he didn't kick out. He just hit the Future Shock DDT and then did a kip up and went to the corner to count down for the Claymore. 3, 2, and as he's about to go to 1, Scarlett steps between Drew and Karrion and then pulls out something that was like mace or pepper spray and sprays it in Drew McIntyre's eyes. And then with Drew McIntyre blinded, Karrion hit his finisher move, which I think is called the cross hammer, and got the pin 1, 2, 3, and Karen Cross was the winner, and it seemed like nobody cared. Alicia, did you care? Oh wait, according to this, Big Time says that Ronda Rousey is a 2022 Landstorm, Mrs. Roboto, and then they piped in sound effects to some of the strap hits, yeah, because it was just like so bland. All right, Alicia, what do you think of this match?
Yeah, there was something. I agree. There was something missing with this match. Apparently Rose agrees. That is, and I don't know if it's because, well, like I said, Philly's a smart crowd, so they probably have watched NXT and Impact and stuff to see his matches. But I mean, outside of his entrance, like he never really did it for me anyway. So I guess I into the matches where I probably would have been anyway to begin with. But yeah, it like I said, there was just something missing. I don't know if it was maybe if again I don't know if it's like they didn't have that in ring chemistry or it's because it was a stipulation match. You don't really get to see Cross's actual wrestling ability because he's playing the chicken shit heel. So like he's not really trying to be like in it to win it, so to speak, fairly. Um, but I did think it was an interesting start to where like he wouldn't play mind games and not putting on the other strap and then attacking before he puts it on so the bell doesn't ring. So I thought that was a good start. But yeah, I don't know. I really can't put my eyes on like can't really grasp what it is that was missing that maybe would have been better for me. But we also I don't know what we're doing with Drew. This is like another loss for him. I mean I wouldn't call this a big match loss, but he gets a little bit protected because of the whole Scarlet situation. So I don't know where does Drew go from here? I mean they can still go on because he didn't really beat him fairly, but like Drew has, I feel like, lost the last couple of matches that he's been in. So it's just like, what do we do? I
Well,
don't.
whatever brand he's on, I'm guessing he's on. I'm just gonna say he's on Raw. So I'm gonna make that up.
Okay.
Okay, well he's on SmackDown now too, and I think since he's the biggest name on that, and the only other bigger name on that is um, Roman Reigns,
Roman.
they don't want to put them together, right? So they got to
Yeah.
push him off to the wayside. That's what they're doing now, but they're still making him look kind of strong because obviously he didn't lose cleanly. And once again we can see this happening in Saudi Arabia, this match as like maybe a hardcore match or something, unfortunately, or well maybe not because Scarlett might not be able to come out in Saudi Arabia. I don't know how that works, but anyway,
No,
uh,
no, no.
yeah. Well, anyway, so if anything, she like it'll probably be a War Games and they'll be on opposite sides again on two teams of war. And that's I think that is where they could shine. I'm not saying that they're bad, but it's just this strap match I think held them back. No joke, like no pun intended. This really did hold them back, the strap match, and I feel like them in War Games might be better. He's a face with no heel to complement him. This is no problem that having all the belts on three people will cause. No, that is not
Oh, I
the
just have with the
that
bloodline having all the belts. It means
no, the bloodline has to have all the belts because stables must have all the belts.
yeah.
Uh,
Also, like we can have storylines that don't revolve around. belt. Like this
yeah.
can like I mean both of them have called out Roman, so that eventually it will circle back to that. But it's up to the creative team to write the stories because not everyone can go for the belt because there's only so many um belts to be going after, like, especially if it on one brand. So that's on the writers to be like, hey, this is why these two are fighting, and then it's on to the performers to make us believe of why you would want to fight this other person. I mean, that's wrestling writing 101 in a nutshell. Although I'm not a writer in any sense of the word, instead of outside of writing Facebook statuses, but I don't know.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah, it's on the writers and performers to make us believe of why these two would want to fight and make it make sense.
that's why Big Time I said they should never unify belts because they need more opportunities around there. That's why I said they should never unify belts, but they did, and now this is what we have to deal with. So
Well, actually, to me, it's working because of that, we are now elevating the IC and the US title belts, which I mean, well, if they kind of make them feel like a big deal, like Lashley, he's having great matches on Raw. He does. The only thing about Lashley is that he's not really in a feud right now. He's just fighting people. But and then you have like Gunther who's being like this um the maddest sacred old school type of wrestler, and he's like no one can touch me type of deal. So them two are elevating. Although I think Lashley might be losing it tonight. I don't know. They but oh, you think so too? Okay.
yeah,
Um
I don't know. I like having more belts, but like if they're gonna unify, I like that it's on the Bloodline because they're currently the strongest thing going on in sports entertainment.
yeah.
The next match is a ladder. It's for the Raw Women's Championship, featuring the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair against Bayley in a ladder match. I believe this is you, Delisha.
Yeah, so the second and last title match of this whole entire card, we have uh Bianca in her like 3,000th title reign of her defending versus the returning Bayley who wants her title back. And they actually got off to a like really quick start with them. I think they both like went for like a crossbody, and then I guess they realized like, well, I guess the fighting's not like, oh yeah, we're in a ladder match, go out and get ladders, which I appreciate it because if the name of the game is climb a ladder, you should try to get a ladder as soon as possible. Um, although I did like that Bailey took a moment to like berate some. I think it was like a little of the crowd who was chanting "You suck." I don't know. Bailey and her little clips are just so great. But then I believe Bianca ran up a ladder that was probably apron. To go. Excuse me. With the I think it was a springboard moonsault, and then Bailey would kind of retaliate with some sort of sunset flip onto the ladder that was in the corner, and then probably one of the best spots of the night was Bailey doing a elbow drop onto Bianca from I think the ladder was like propped up in between the ring and the barricade, I believe, and and where she removed the plate a piece of her knee brace Belair, but then Belair was actually able to get a KOD to Bailey, but still was not able to climb up to get the belt because, of course, Bailey is part of a stable, and if there's a match that has no repercussions for being interfered with, damage control is gonna get involved. Which you would think being like 3-on-1 that would face Bianca. Nope, she is the EST for a reason. She's able to fend them off and give like a double KOD onto Kai and Io. But if that was enough distraction for Bailey to try to get the upper hand, she tried to pin Bianca underneath the ladder. But again, Bianca is like strong AF, and she was able to push her off. So then we would have a kind of like standoff on top of the ring, on top of the ladder, both of them trying to go after the belt, where Bailey would try to use her hair against her. And as we've seen time and time again, you might get a shot off, but you will not keep her down. And if you touch her hair, she will go off on you. She did whip Bailey with the ponytail, which obviously, why wouldn't you do that? One, if you had that on you, and two, there is no repercussion for doing whatever. And but excuse me, I don't know, I don't have allergies, but I'm sneezing like I do. But Bianca was also able to land a KOD Bailey one more time, and able to that was able to ladder and win belt. I thought this was a pretty solid match. These two individually have good chemistry with each other. Especially, I mean, it's not like this is a match with each other at all. And it was a solid ladder match. And I actually really thought that Bailey would be the one to actually win because I thought they would just like to give Damage Control all the belts, especially with them being like a heel stable. But it looks like they might can also play it up with Bailey is supposed to be this leader, supposed to up bringing these other two stablemates, but can't get the job done when it comes to the big matches. That's something they could play along with though. But did you like this match? Did you think it was this was? Did you think this was the time to take it off Bianca, or should we save that for a later date?
No, you gotta let Bailey chase a little bit. I really did like this match. I thought it was almost a 5-star match. Apart from some of the few sloppy things that happened, this was one of the second best match of the night. This was very fun to watch. I love the spots with Dakota Kai and Io Shirai. It took Io Sky, whatever you want to call them. It took away when the KOD on both of them took like 78 minutes, basically the length of the pay per view to set up. I knew what she's trying to do. Like someone like John Cena would have got that down. Not that I like to praise John Cena, but he would have probably got that down. Like he had Big Show and like Ryback and like like all them on their shoulders at once, and he had and Great Khali and all that like seamlessly. Like Bianca's a strong woman, strong woman. We've seen her press slam people like while walking upstairs. Right, she is a strong woman. So that took it could have been not her fault either, too. Right, it's a two-way dance, or maybe in this way 3-way dance. In this case, so like it just looked a little sloppy, took too long. I felt like the action was going so well, and that kind of slowed it down. There were some other moments that got slowed down, but that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen when you have Extreme Rules matches and stuff like that. With like chairs and all that kind of stuff, because props don't always want to work with you either. In that case, it wasn't really props; it was two other people. But there, the moment when Bailey ran and jumped off the apron onto the ladder with an elbow drop, that looked really painful. It looked the best spot of the match, if not the night. That looked really for such a simple thing. It looked brilliant, and I love that part. But yeah, like, and also pushing the ladder over a few times. I also hate ladder matches because like people like walk and they're waiting for someone to like. There's a time where Bianca got to the top and she's like, oh, I can't reach. I hate it. It's not just Bianca. It's like all ladder matches, men's, women's, Money in the Bank, anything. It's like, oh, it's right there, but like, oh, I got T-Rex arms all of a sudden. I can't reach it. Or like, they go to get it, but they start swinging only because they make it swing. Like, I hate that stuff, dude. Like, if I'm in that match, I'm climbing up and boom, I'm getting it, and that's it. Like, I understand it's a story being told, but like, there's got to be a way after all these years to make it more believable than what we see to this day. That's the only gripe I have, like seeing that kind of stuff. But other than that, this was a great match. Probably the second best match of the night after the opening match. This was fantastic. I loved every moment. And yeah, like Bianca should be still. I mean, sorry, everyone's name is B in this now. Becky, Bailey, Bianca. I think that's all the B's. I might have covered all the B's. Probably someone else out. Oh, Dana Brooke, if you want to think about that. But anyway, yeah, I think Bailey should still be chasing the title, and I don't mind that happening. The next match was I don't even know what the hell match. Oh, I Quit match featuring Edge against Finn Balor for the first time ever. And on paper, this could be one of the greatest matches of all time. And did it disappoint? Not really. It was not too bad. It wasn't too shabby. Becky, I don't know. I think she's having a baby. Who knows? That's the only time Becky ever leaves, right? It's when she's having a baby. I don't know what Becky's doing. Taking some time off and making a return with the role.
Her shoulder got injured.
Oh, her shoulder got injured. That's what happened. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know how long she's out for, but it got injured at what was it, SummerSlam. Whenever the same night that Bailey returned, that match.
Yeah, SummerSlam. That's oh yeah, I remember that. But yeah, so this match, like Edge came out to like normal thing, but Finn Balor came out to like a mixture of the Judgment Day music and his own music, but he didn't do his normal shtick where he does the thing, But anyway, uh, he came out with a cool like spiked mask, showing that he's going to be a lot more extreme today. The match pretty much started out with them just like beating the crap out of each other, and then going to the outside and fighting down all the way to like the Judgment Day set. Edge grabbed a hockey stick. They fought into the crowd, up to the arena, like bowels of the not the bowels of the arena, but like up the arena stairs into like the concession stand area. But they couldn't really go further than that to the gateway. They came back all the way back down the ring, and then finally back into the ring. They kept beating the crap out of each other for a while, and eventually we knew what would happen is because we knew that I think uh I think Edge put the hockey stick into like that, like whatever the crossface that he puts it in, and had asked Finn Balor to give up. Because remember, this is an I Quit match, so you get which I hate. I hate these matches too, by the way, because like there's no reason why anybody would ever quit these matches unless like their family's in danger. I text that to Alicia. I'm like, because remember I watched this a few days later. I'm like, Alicia, the only way that Edge is gonna quit is if what's your face? Beth. Oh, that's another B. There you go, another B. Beth Phoenix or the children get involved if they have them and like saying, "Look at your kids, they're crying," or if they're not there, if Beth Phoenix comes out to help Edge at any point, they threaten to throw her off the stage or hit her with a concerto, and Edge might give up, and then they'll still do whatever they were going to do anyway. But did that happen? Let's see. I predicted that earlier though. So as Edge has Finn in that crossface or whatever with the hockey stick, you think Finn's gonna give up, but out come Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and they start. I think Balor got speared. Then I think Priest and Priest got what do you call it? He got something. I forgot what happened to him. He got something done to him. Then it was left with like Dominic in the ring, and Dominic went to go shake Edge's hand. Edge gave him the low blow. Well, he shook his hand but gave him the low blow. And then as they're both on the, all three of them on the outside, Edge looked at them. Behind them came Rhea Ripley, who handcuffed Edge to the top rope, and that the Judgment Day started beating him up 3-on-1 with Rhea Ripley on the outside, and then all of a sudden Rey Mysterio's music hit, and he came out to help out Edge. He was able to hit a 619 on Damian Priest and beat up Finn Balor a little bit, but he would not really go after Dominic. And then Dominic beat the crap out of his own father and threw him into the ring post. And then as this was all happening, Balor was hitting Edge with a kendo stick. Beth Phoenix came out and took away the kendo stick and hit the rest of the Judgment Day with a weapon. Then Rhea Ripley came out and got into a fist fight with Beth Phoenix, and Beth Phoenix was able to stop Rhea Ripley and throw her out. Got the keys to the handcuff and uncuffed Edge. Then Edge, that's when Edge kicked Dominic below the belt. That's what happened. And then hit 3 spears on Balor. As he was about to put the submission on him, Ripley hit Phoenix, then hit Beth Phoenix with the brass knuckles that she grabbed. And then Balor.
Winter is coming.
Oh, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? Oh, I think someone subbed. Thank you for whoever subbed. Cool man GYT. Thank you. Where was I? Oh yeah. After that, Ripley hit Beth Phoenix with the brass knuckles, and then Finn hit 3 coup de grace on Edge, and then Edge held on. Then Finn Balor, Dominic, and Damian Priest held on to Edge as what I called would happen. Rhea Ripley put a chair underneath Beth Phoenix's head and was setting up for grabbed another chair and went for the concerto. Edge said, "I quit," because he said he would never say I quit, but since his family was involved, like I said, the only way he would actually give up, he said I quit. And then, despite that, Rhea Ripley, like I said, would hit Edge, would hit Beth Phoenix anyway, and then they called for medical help as Judgment Day won the match and left the ring. Alicia, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was I actually thought this was a pretty good match, and yeah, it was really. I didn't know how this would go because neither one of them could afford to lose, so to speak, in a straight up like I quit because I'm in so much pain or whatever. because like Edge has he says he's gonna destroy Judgment Day, but and then you can't do it or whatever, and then you have Finn who's trying to get this group over, and if he were to say I quit, it's like why should we fear you at all? So it's like the with Beth getting involved was like the perfect way to write this, even if we all saw it coming. Sometimes things being predictable doesn't mean it's bad, and this is like predictable in a good way. And we got to see Rhea and go at it, which made me very happy, and I can't wait to them go at it again in the official ring capacity because we know that's coming. In what way, if it's on Raw or on a pay per view, I don't care. Just put it on my eyeballs now. Also, I'm really happy for Rhea because Beth is one of her inspirations for getting into wrestling, so this is probably really great for her. But yeah, the match was pretty good, and like I said, it had to end the way it to still put some weight on Judgment Day, and this actually makes them more brutal because before there really wasn't really a reason you should fear Judgment Day because all they did was take out Edge, so to speak, and trying to recruit AJ and getting Dominic, but like, how's that really a get for anybody at this moment? And so like there's really no reason to want them to be Judgment Day just well because they were all black and they're super emo. Like that was like the reason why he didn't want Dominic involved, but them with this brutality, so to speak, is another good like evolution for them. And I also like you talking about Finn's entrance. Actually, if you I don't know if anyone noticed when they come out individually, like for a singles match, they all have a darker version of their original theme song, which is pretty cool. But when they come out together, that's when you get the cool like Judgment Day um theme, which I really like that. I really love when like factions still have the individuality, and but still when they come together as a group, like it's like you get a group music. I really like that.
Yeah, it's actually nice seeing that Judgment Day actually getting a turn for the better, right? Because they've been losing left and right to everyone, like so. It's pretty cool to see they finally get a leg up in the competition. So, and I like this feud. It's not that bad. Like I thought I'd get tired of it, but seeing Edge and Finn go at it for the first time did not disappoint. It was a great match, like you said. Adding Beth and I'm just kind of tired of seeing the intergender. I mean, sorry, what a mixed match tags. Like let the women fight. Like let Beth and Rhea Ripley go at it. It's gonna be a great match and let Finn and Edge go on. Don't need to like mix it up with a mixed match, like mixed tag match. I don't. I'm so tired of seeing like the husband and the wife fight the husband and wife fight the husband and wife. Like it's so boring. We've seen that so many times. Let them go
Yeah,
at it individually.
that's literally the only mixed tag matches we've had is usually with Miz and Maurice and someone else.
Right.
But yeah, it'd
Cena.
be kind of
Yeah.
cool to see kind of like more of that. I mean, they probably do a little bit more of that maybe on like house shows or whatever, but it would be
Yeah.
cool to see more of that on the actual even if it's just like, hey, I'm feeding with this woman and you're feeding with these two, like we just it's like a team of guys, like we just hate these other people. So it's just something simple like that every once in a while, it's kind of it's a nice mix up.
And the final match of the evening was a match between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. It was pretty much a grudge match in a what they call it, like a fight pit, and with a special guest enforcer or slash referee, former UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. As well as I think he's former heavyweight champion as well. Daniel Cormier.
I
Alicia?
would not know. Yeah, yeah. So if you've ever watched NXT in the last, I think it only happened in 2020 and 2021. The 2021 they brought out the fight pit, which I think was that a WCW or type of match stipulation. I know it was an old match type of deal. Anyway, Matt Riddle's been in the only two fight pit matches that would happen on NXT, and it usually calls for when like you just like we're gonna go balls to the wall with no wrestling rules whatsoever, which is why they were saying touting Riddle's match because of his MMA background, and two, he's been in the two previous fight pit matches back in NXT. Uh, and so, but and they showcase that with Riddle doing a lot of the MMA start the fight. Doing like kickoffs from the cage onto Seth. Um, and it was just I don't understand like what happened. But like I guess like Riddle was like going too hard at stuff, which made was it Daniel Cormier tell him to stop. Which I didn't, which I thought was odd because it's called the fight pit, so like they should just be able to, fight. But that led Rollins to be able to take the advantage, and I think Rollins almost got. I think he got in. I don't know why can't I say his name. I'm just gonna say Dan. I'm just gonna say Dan. He kept getting in Dan's face about something or another, and but then Rollins would still be able to get back on Riddle with some super kicks and which I think that started like a 10 count. I think for Riddle, which he got up to break, and he and then I don't know when Rollins came out with his I was like that looks really familiar. Like what is he paying homage to? And it wasn't until he did the frog splash off the cage wall I was like, oh right, that's where the dragon on the front was. What look guys, it was late at this point. I didn't my brain. Woo. And then Rollins would then play more mind games with Riddle because he's like the master. He's like the master of like getting into his head, mocking him from the little platform level of the fight pit. So just rolling up more. So where they were now fighting on this platform where Riddle put Rollins into a rear chokehold. Uh, which you was like, are they going to make them fall off the platform onto the mat? But no, because they were holding on to the pole part. And then, but he would get out. Rollins somehow got out of that and gave Riddle the buckle bomb again, still on this platform, which it's one misstep and you're going down. With if you're not bracing yourself for it, can really scary and can really hurt yourself. Um, but he was able to. They were able to make their way down to the map. Rollins that is, and then Riddle. These R's, man. You with the B's and me with the R's. Gave him the I don't know. I don't know what the move is called where he just jumped from the platform onto
Senton.
that's not the Bro Derek, was it? No.
No, it was a senton, right? Talk about a senton,
Oh, okay, yeah. Onto uh
or the broton he calls
leave it
it.
on the platform and then put him in. Sorry. But after that he would put Rollins into a I think this one was a standing triangle chokehold, and then was able to tap out Rollins. It was a fine match, so to speak. I would I don't if you're not an MMA fan like Daniel Cormier being there, you just didn't care for. He's just another referee at this point because I certainly have never watched. I don't think I've ever watched an MMA match a day in my life. So I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but cool. But I understood the importance of him being in there. But he didn't really seem to have much to do, and I don't like I said, I didn't understand why he was breaking up holds. I guess for it being quote unquote too brutal with this, which I don't understand because it's called a fight pit. You're just supposed to be fighting it out, and he's only there to call the 1 2 3 or the tap out and stuff. But I mean, it was fine. I don't. I think this feud might be getting frozen for a little bit. You would think because he's beaten Rollins 2-1, or I think at this point. Anyway, and then again tonight Rollins is going for the U.S. title, so it's like depending on I guess what happens there, we might be separating these two for a little bit, which I think is fine. Um, I don't know if this played well with it being the main event. But there were actually a couple matches on this card that on paper could have been the main event, so I guess it really. But yeah, to me, again, like some of the other matches, it was fine. Like it wasn't like boring by any means, but it was just like, oh, okay, cool, sweet. For a way to in the card.
Yeah, so for me, I think it was a great match, and I agree with you. I think Cormier was actually the worst part of the match. Him saying fight each other, not me, made no sense. Like they just let them fight because like it's basically a steel cage match and there's no rules, right? Pretty much. So why not let them do that? And I think Cormier was the worst part of the match. He ruined it. He stopped the flow of the match, And that's about it. But other than that, the match is great. Like like I said, I'm sick of Riddle. I hate his character. I hate everything about him pretty much. But he's a great in-ring performer, which I can't take away from him. So,
Yeah.
like I'm hoping this feud is over because I don't really want to see him anymore. I just want to see him go as much as I'd hate to say it. I want to see him go at Goldberg and Brock because like they kind of don't like him, and I just want to see them take out their frustration on him, or let him defeat them and see what happens. Like, or let them really fight for real in a fight pit. That'd be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I'd watch that.
I remember someone on Twitter said they should have had Kim Shamrock as the special guest referee.
Yeah, is Ken Shamrock still alive? What the hell is he doing? Bring Ken Shamrock over there.
I really don't know. Was he an MMA guy? I
yeah,
mean, or
yeah.
did he do a lot of MMA? Yeah.
Ken Shamrock was UFC and all that, and Bellator and all that, and Strikeforce and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would have been. But so was
some money his way.
But so is Daniel Cormier, and he's a huge WWE fan. That's why he has.
Okay.
He has a good role.
No, I totally understood in name like why he would be there, but like his role, it was just like
they should have given better instructions and just let him. Like you said, let them go at it, and then whatever happens, and he's just there to count or do the submission. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, but that didn't end the night, Alicia. What happened after that? Now you can say it.
So yeah, this is kind of like a trademark of Triple H now. Is when you he did it back in I think it was 2018 or 2018, one of the NXT, where like the person who wins the title ramp and you get the copyright title card going up, so you think the pay-per-view is over, and apparently all people got fooled and turned off their televisions. But if you've been paying attention for the last month or so, we've been getting all these teases with QR codes and white rabbits in the crowd or outside of the arenas. And I almost said last night, like we're saying this on Saturday. It's Friday Night SmackDown, and I think they did it at the beginning of this as well. There's like a little vignette of a white rabbit and like a video game style with the purple X, which is what they were doing with the Extreme Rules logo. And where speculation of this deity or some sort of debut was happening whatsoever. A lot of people were there's a lot of speculations of going on, and a lot of if you're very into the MCU, very Marvel-esque Easter eggy type of deals going on these last couple of weeks. And so the lights go out. One of the small detail is you hear Michael Cole and talking to Grace is like, "Are we still on the air?" and stuff like that, which is like a little small detail. The lights go out, and then you see a spotlight on these individuals. I think we started off with the pig. I forget. I don't know. I don't remember these characters' names. Are like all scary looking. We're in spooky season. Of a pig and I think it's a rascally rabbit and Sister Abigail, and then am I missing one?
The vulture.
Oh yes, the vulture.
And while all this is happening, there's playing over the music is playing over where it's saying he's got the whole world in his hand.
Oh yes, and then we cut to the announce desk where there is a Shard Fiend mask on their desk, and then we cut over more to the barricade where there is a Fiend figure, and then on the stage is a door with light behind it. We don't know what this door leads to, and then we cut to the screen where you see like this masked figure, and then we cut to
no, before that it's going through the Firefly Funhouse is burned down.
Oh, I don't know why I got these two mixed up. We cut to the Firefly Funhouse,
and the music is all distorted and warped as it's going through it.
Yeah, but it's all dark. It's covered in cobwebs because obviously we haven't seen it in a while. And then the door opens, and you don't see anything but a lantern, just straight up lantern coming out, and then you see this hooded figure with I'm calling it a goblin mask. I know it's not. It looks like the Green Goblin mask to me a little bit because of the way it was cased in shadow. That's what it reminded me of. So that's what I'm going to call it now until I see it in a better light or name for it. And then the person takes off their mask, and it is Bray Wyatt. He has returned. He has come home, so to speak. We don't know what he's here to do. One thing I did like is that he did not interfere with anyone's matches, because that was my fear, is that we knew something was coming. We didn't know it was going to be an actual reveal, even though on SmackDown 10/8 tomorrow night, whatever. But that didn't mean that there was going to be someone actually coming out. So that's what I was fearing. That if you got involved with someone match, that was going to overshadow the match. But they let this reveal actually be quote unquote, I guess, the true main event. And there was something that was being said, I think, as it came out, but the crowd was so loud you couldn't make out what was being said. And I would say the Philly crowd was on point. Like as soon as those lights went out, those camera lights were on, like it was coordinated, but it wasn't. But we all knew what was happening. But I did like this reveal. It was again because it's Bray Wyatt, it's something different. Um, I think it's of note. Whoa, oh sorry, she knocked away my screen. I think of note he did not come out as the Fiend. He showed his face as Bray Wyatt, and I mean, if you follow him on Twitter, seen him and different, he's a very and he doesn't really repeat a lot of his same characters. Like in full, he'll bring elements of those characters, but he will never repeat them in full. So this is kind of it's almost like a Wyatt, I guess, 3.0 at this point. So I'm very curious as to what he will do, and I'm just very curious all around and what they're, especially now with Triple H at the helm, because if anyone does read some of the reason why Wyatt kept was so frustrated because he would do great promo and vignette work, but when they got to the ring, he was losing a lot, and that was a Vince McMahon type of deal. So now being under Triple H and being under a creative team that is involved with long form storytelling, what and letting him, I don't know if he's going to have full reign of his character, but having a lot more, it's going to be very interesting to see what they pull off. And I'm actually kind of excited because it is something different. It's not the status quo of what we see in wrestling. And I think again that is why everyone, oh on the Triple H, what is he going to do? Like he is a Triple H guy. I mean he came through the NXT system hired by Triple H. So I know they like the potential of him, and there was um of talks of there being an actual Fiend movie, but then he got let go, and then that went to. So I don't know. We might get it sometime down the line, but did you like the reveal? Do you like this new iteration? The bits and pieces that we've gotten so far, because we never really do with this character. And there also has been rumors that they're actually going to be building a stable around them. There's a lot of this like Wyatt Six going around. So do you think that is something you would like to see, or would you rather see him as a standalone like character?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna try to get all your questions that you asked me in order if I can. First of all, first of all, I hope he said I'm here. Like you said, the crowd was too loud. But I hope like when he used to do it, when he used to go like he'd say the name of the city and they'd be like for the White family. But now I hope he said I'm here and then they usually blow out the thing and goes dun 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
Plays this music and it comes out. But this is the end of the night, so that's how the review ended. Was I excited? A little bit. I mean, obviously, it was as you know, it was ruined for me earlier. So I wasn't as surprised because I knew it was coming. But I wasn't as happy. I guess I should say because like I guess if I didn't know it was coming, I think I would have been like, oh, I mean, like we had a feeling. What?
Well, people in the wrestling though, not like your general like fandom. Like I think a lot of people, I guess we more expected it. We just never 100% knew. Um, I guess because well, WWE you really never know. Like they like to troll their fans all the time, but like I feel like a
No,
lot
no,
of
no,
us like
no.
were like
I'm saying
98%.
I'm saying that someone spoiled it for me, as you know. Someone spoiled it, so I knew it was coming. That's what I'm saying. Like, so I knew it was already coming, so I knew like it was, it was kind of ruined. Like, I lost that like shock factor. You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so I was a little bit underwhelmed. I was expecting more than just that, but I liked his classic. I'm hoping like, it was too loud, so I couldn't hear it. So kudos to the fans, but it also took away from us. So I didn't hear it. I'm really hoping he said I'm here, and then he blew out the thing. If he did that, then I'm really then I'm happy.
Extract that audio and let us know.
But I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't understand what the voice was saying on the TV when it was doing the distorted thing, like the static screen. I didn't understand what they were saying there. So I really wish I want to watch it again and somehow and see if I could hear it better when he put the closed captioning on. But would I like to see him? I don't want to get excited yet because they could drop the ball again, and so I'm not gonna get excited yet. Would I like to see a stable? Of course, I love all types of stables. That's all I want to see is stables in the WWE. The Y6 is what I heard. Also, what Big Time said, something that Skye echoed as well. And Scott, both things. The last two things I think Big Time said is both things Skye told me earlier about like the mask being tailored to the movie Black Phone, which is something that Wyatt's friend worked on. The movie with Ethan Hawke. That's what the mask is
Oh, okay,
kind of like
okay, okay,
kind of like an
okay.
homage, kind of like an homage to. That's what Skye was telling me earlier as well. Big Time also echoed the fact or repeated the fact that what Skye told me earlier, or reiterated or supported, whatever you want to say. The fact that Bo Dallas is going to come back because he's been signed as well and join the Wyndham Six. That's what Skye was telling me earlier, and Big Time just echoed it as well. So would I like to see a Wyndham Six stable? Yes. Would I love to see the original Wyatt family in the stable? Yes, because I love that original. I love the Bludgeon
Well,
Brothers.
can't
I
have.
know, I know. I'm saying, would I have loved to? Yes, because I loved the Bludgeon Brothers more so than I loved Braun Strowman. So I love seeing those two guys and the original Wyatt family. If I could see that, that would have been great. Obviously, we can't have that, but it would have been magical. Maybe there's some way to pay homage to him, like he did in the last WrestleMania match where he did the whatever thing that um John Huber did or whatever. Welcome Entertained as well. That would be great, but I want to see them maybe have some homage to him that he carries out to the ring every time. Something like that. Something would be great. Or maybe never have a sixth member because that sixth member is Luke Harper. I know that sounds real lame, but I'm like, in the Wyatt family, he was Luke Harper. So maybe never have a sixth member. Like have five, but they call him the sixth because like he'll just point to the sky or something. That would be kind of cool. Um, like I think that'd be a great idea. I'd love to see the stable. Bring his brother in there because I think that's his brother, his real brother. Keep Braun Strowman out of it because he's kind of like a. Bring Eric Rowan back. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe don't put Alexa Bliss in it. Um,
Oh, I was gonna say there's another rumor out there that I just read earlier today that it's been that possibly Liv Morgan might be
that's what I was
involved
gonna say.
because again that would be a reason why she was smiling
Yeah,
while
she
she was
she
being
she kind of
chased
she
out.
kind of had the fiend's face, like the face of like the fiend.
Yeah,
Like
and
put that
then
in.
this was a I don't know if it was a YouTube exclusive or a just WWE. It was a picture of her just sitting in a dark corner. I think she had like a smirk on her face or just looking off um to the camera.
Yeah,
So playing around. I mean, we fans we love to speculate about things. So that would be another interesting turn for her to or a dark hole so to speak to go down and another reinvigoration of help let the Wyatt Six stable kind of like help build her up some more. I mean, she's still over with the fans, but I think this latest,
I think
not
it'll.
I know remove
I
this
think.
this is
Sorry, I
oh
was
no
just.
go ahead.
I think her character suffered from being too like dainty and too like sweet and too weak looking. Right? She never seemed like I said. She never seemed believable to beat someone like Rhea Ripley. Not believable to beat someone like Charlotte. Not believable to beat someone like Ronda. I said the only equalizer would be an Extreme Rules match, and that's the match she ends up losing. So like she does not. She needs some sort of supernatural force, and this could be it. And I feel like that
Yeah.
to make the difference, and I think that's it's gonna be a good thing for her. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm gonna tell you now. What I'm saying is I'm gonna give it 4 to 6 months without before giving it an honest opinion. Like
So
uh,
basically, kind of into Mania season
until Mania,
four.
yeah, because remember how what happened at Mania that kind of ruined the Fiend.
I
Until
don't want to remember what happened.
if his first match is against Goldberg in Saudi Arabia, or if he fights Randy Orton or something like that, that's it for me. I'm done. I'm done with that character because and he loses, but that's it. All right, I guess like the baby's having some issues. Let's go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. Delisha, what are your low point, your high point, and your overall grade?
Um, I gotta give the low point to that Ronda and Liv match for your match to be the namesake of the. It didn't deliver, and I know we do seem to like harp on like Ronda a lot, but where there's smoke, there's fire, and she just really doesn't deliver. literally, in the wrestling business that I love. And so this just matched. Like I said, I had a very hard time following and staying interested. High point, probably not a shock, people, is I'm giving it to the Donnie Brooke match because it set the tone for the night, and it was like legit a really great match. I mean, if you can call it a match, but it was like a really good match with good story behind it, and just and overall, I think I'll give it a B minus. While like I said, while all the matches didn't land, um, there was for it to be an extreme rules pay per view. A lot of the matches went to a place where they needed to go, whether it fit the story or it just fit the brutality of what they were trying. I do think that they pulled off a really good card.
Yes, I'm echoing exactly what you said. Low point was the Ronda Rousey Liv Morgan match. The high point was the Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes match. But this time I'm probably gonna give it a little higher grade B because I did enjoy most of it. Apart from a few things, I'm gonna have to give it a B. But I feel like what is more out of this is what where everything's gonna go from here, especially with the return of Bray Wyatt. That's what is really gonna brought my grade up a little bit more. But like let's say if they drop the ball or not, I'm gonna give it 4 to 6 months, like I said. But Delisha, where can we find you? And I'm guessing I think the last video I saw was basically the baby feeding video, and that's probably what
Yeah.
Rose just vomited up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Delisha Renee. There will be a video posted this Wednesday. I got sidetracked with something else, and I actually filmed more videos, but just didn't have time to like get them uploaded. So there will be a video this Wednesday, and then not next week, but the following weeks. Is bi-weekly the right term?
Yes.
Bi-weekly, every other week, is what I'm trying to aim for.
Or you could say
King
semi monthly too. Both work.
Oh man, sounds a little more smart. But uh, as Rose, as she's getting older, she is getting dependent on playing by herself. So that kind of leads me to actually film more stuff. So yeah, so got some things coming down the pipeline that I would hopefully be able to shoot and get up.
Yeah. And we're trying to also get us down there to go see Rose too, because I know Delicia's wanted to get together sometime over the summer, but our schedules didn't really work out. So hopefully, maybe for the end of the year, for the holidays, we can go down and see them with the Road Dog and myself coming down to see Delicia and Joe and Baby Rose. But for me, the next time you see me is probably going to be another summoning session on Genshin sometime in the next few weeks, maybe months. But the next time you'll see us here on Aftermat is we're not, as usual, not covering the Saturday pay-per-views. So you'll see us next time for Survivor Series War Games. The actual premium live event is on November 26th, Saturday. So you'll see us the Monday following that on November 28th. I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving and good upcoming Halloween as well. So enjoy that. Until then, guys, keep slamming the haters and be the champion of your dreams. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun